Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm John Ross. I'm the lead engineer here on Sumire.
And I'm Michael Ely. I'm a writer director on Sumire.
And we're also here with Nakazawa-san, the lead artist. She's in the chat. She'll also be doing some translation support if you have any questions today in English or Japanese. Nihongo de mo ii desu. Please let us know. So today we're here to show you guys the iOS version of Sumire. So we launched Sumire last year on Steam and Nintendo Switch, and we've been working hard to bring the game to iOS now. So I'll be showing the game today on the iPad. We have it right here on stream. The game we originally designed for keyboard and mouse and 16:9 resolution. So we made a lot of big changes to bring the game to iPhone, to have a smooth touch control system and to keep the game looking really great on all device resolutions, on the iPad, on new widescreen iPhones with the notch. So yeah, we're gonna show it to you guys today, and hopefully you check it out. And yeah, we'll also be doing some giveaways during the stream as well. So please stay tuned for that. But we did a dev stream last year, and we started at the beginning of the game, and we played up until about the halfway point of the game, which is lunch. So today we're gonna start here at lunch. So yeah, I'm just gonna dive into it now.
Like John said, we decided to start midway through the game so we could show a little bit more of the second half of the game. The first live stream we did last year it was all in the first half, but this is like lunch break. So if you haven't played Sumire, basically she meets this she's this very closed-in girl. She meets this magical flower in the morning that basically says you need to have the perfect day. So the flowers kind of worked with her to make a list of things that she needs to do to make like the most perfect day she could possibly have. And at the end, she might be able to reunite with her grandmother who died right before the game. So this is like we do, she's been through some adventures already, and now she's kind of sitting with her flower at lunchtime eating ramen, and her mom is in the back there. So this is the first thing we had to do was we have all these dialogue choices in the game, and we needed to make that good for touchscreen. So
Yeah, if you play it on
one of the first things we
Switch
had to
or
do.
Switch or PC, you see that the dialogue choices were down at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, for iOS version, we did this new layout with just the big buttons, and you can kind of just make sure you make the right choice by one tap to select one, and then the second tap to actually confirm your selection. All right, and getting up now and show you guys the movement system here on iOS. So we have a touch joystick. We'll ignore the phone call from Dad for now. If you play the game, you can that phone will only ring once in the game. Or should we answer it? Might be too late.
Yeah, go for it. If it might be too late.
Oh no, we missed
One
it.
of the few
Okay.
it's one of the few things you can only do if you grab something at a certain time.
Yeah, but we really wanted to make sure we didn't have too much UI on the screen, just so the visual still really stood out. So we have this touch joystick that comes up only when you're touching the screen, and then the interact button over here on the right side when you get close to an interactive object. That'll let you know that you can actually interact with something. Yeah, if anyone's in chat, please feel free to say hello and let us know any questions you guys have. Alright, so let's jump into the memory scene now.
There's the flower starting to fade. When we see the flower, it's already lost half its petals. It slowly dies through the course of the day. Yeah, this is the memory scene. It's this. It's one of the moments where she realizes like she has a connection to her mom. It's something that happened with her mom's perfect day in the past. And she's realizing like her mom had a life before she was born. It's kind of one of the themes in the game, is how the past influences the future. And John, if you stop right there. So we're not sure if anybody noticed this, but like right there is a tiny, almost invisible flower next to the mom. So it's kind of one of the deep backstories, is like the mom had a flower that guided her through her day. And we're never sure if like anybody's noticed that flower, because never noticed somebody talking about it on Twitter or anything. But yeah, you can see it really faint right there.
Yeah, did we ever? So it's kind of like a generational thing. There's like her grandmother who passed away, and then her mom, and then Sumire. They all did grandma also have a flower at one point too? Was that?
Yeah, that's in but not not stated. It's kind of a thing that gets passed down from mother to daughter.
So, this playthrough that I've been doing right now, I got up to lunch. I've been doing what we'd say is a bad karma run. In Samira, we have all these choices, and there's a karma system of which changes what can happen in the game based on your choices. And I've been trying to make all bad choices in this run, so we're gonna keep with that theme. So here's a chance right now. On Sumire's perfect day list, one of her things to do is to tell her mom and dad how she really feels. And this is a point in the game where you have that opportunity. So I'm gonna say that I need to say something. But we're gonna choose the bad option here. Did I steal from the purse yet too? Let's do that. Oh, it's empty now. Yeah, I think I stole from the purse in the morning. All right, and before we go outside, do you want to try our first giveaway now? Just to see if anyone's in chat. Yeah, let's go for it. So yeah, if anyone's in chat and you're interested in getting a free copy of Sumire on your iPhone or iPad, whoever posts the first flower emoji in chat, we will send you a copy of Sumire. So real quick, anyone in chat right now, first person to post a flower emoji, you'll win this giveaway. And we'll be running more throughout the stream. Okay. Back with the flower now. I love Bo's running animation here, him just hurrying on screen. So at this point in the game, right before lunch, Sumire, she was in the Tanaka house where Chie disappeared, and Bo's now coming to let Sumire know that Chie is still missing, and people are looking for her.
You can see that the flower over there has red petals. That's something we kind of added late in development, but as this whole karma system developed where you can make these good and bad choices, it actually affects the color of the flower. So people that maybe have only played the game like trying to be good the whole way through, you might not have seen this, but the flower's petals are reflecting kind of like what you're doing in the game and the choices she's making. What do we got?
All right, and at this point, so we know we need to go to the wisteria tree to find out what to do next. But we could open the notebook here and fast travel there. But I'm gonna run all the way there right now. Yeah, real quick, we haven't showed the notebook yet. So in the game, you have the perfect day list. This is everything, you know, Sumire wants to get done during the day to have her perfect day. And we've only done the wisteria tree so far. And since we're doing a bad karma run here, we're probably not going to get many of these things done. We also have our side tasks here. And then our inventory, her backpack. So yeah, let's just start heading left here. Uh-oh.
Here's the scarecrow. If you fail to come back before lunch to save the scarecrow, then if you ever go back and see him again, he's been pecked apart by the crows. So in keeping with our kind of really bad day here, we'll let the scarecrow die in the rice fields.
Yeah, so another thing to note about the movement system. So on you know, keyboard and controller on PC and Switch, we have a sprint button. On keyboard, it's the, you know, left shift button, and then the B button on controller. But here with this touch controller, you know, if we just move slightly, we can have Sumire walk around. We also made the decision that when Sumire is indoors on the mobile version, she can only walk. So in the house, later in the onsen, you know, if she tries to sprint by moving farther, she'll only be able to walk. So there's lots of little changes like that we made to kind of polish up this version. We're gonna just cross the stream here. Also try to be collecting all the coins I get. Some people have had trouble. One of our achievements, it's called Cash in the Bank. It's an achievement to collect all the coins. And there's actually, fun fact, 14 coins in the game. There's an achievement guide out there online which lists 13 of them. So I think some people are having trouble. We'll show you later where that one is that's missing in that achievement guide.
Back to the wisteria tree, which is kind of your special place where you used to meet your grandmother, and now because it's afternoon, this crow is blocked your path, and you need to kind of do some tasks to be able to get in there.
Yeah, so the flower let us know we need two things. We need someone to help us with a dance of distraction for the crow, and also what is it, an item from related to the girls that have been lost in the tree. So just while we're here in the forest area, we have some questions that we got from our community, and we're going to switch to one of those right now. So this is a question from Phoebe-chan Chibi. She's a YouTuber and Twitch streamer, and she's helped us a ton. She was one of the first people to play Sumire. She was also one of our beta testers for the iOS version, and she had some great questions that she had for us. So yeah, Michael, do you want to take this one? What were some of the devs' inspirations for Sumire?
Yeah, I mean, we live in Japan, and the whole team is in Japan, even though it's an international team. So you can go back to the game, and we can kind of talk about some of the stuff we're watching. So, you know, there's a shrine that you make the wish in. This was inspired specifically by a shrine near Kobe that I used to go to. But there's a lot of shrines like this where you can kind of, you go in, you wash your hands, and then you go up and you do the kind of bow and clap and throw the coin and make a wish. And this is also, like, you know, really connected to her because, you know, she has this wish for this great day and this wish for good things in her life. So there's this kind of, like, you know, there's the kind of nature and kind of, you know, spirit part of the game. But then there's also things like, I think John's about to fast travel down to the town. There's just lots of things that you just run into when you kind of live in Japan, and one of the things is is the small town that's slowly being taken over by the chain restaurants. So we have our there's actually a restaurant called Jonathan's in Japan, and this is our version called Johnny's.
One of my personal favorites here in Japan.
Yeah.
The family restaurants, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all spent like many a day like sitting in a booth in Johnny's with a notebook or a laptop. But this is like a very nice little Japanese town with like the old post office and the little clothing shops, but there's kind of an encroachment of the family restaurants coming in. So it's very connected to things that we've seen ourselves. Here's the gacha machine, which is these things where you put in a coin and you can get a toy. What are we gonna get? Oh. Good one to remember for later. That's a flower keychain.
So let's go into the clothing shop here. So the girl that's missing right now that we're looking for, Chie, Sumire's old friend, now kind of her bully and enemy. This is Chie's mom, who owns the clothing shop. This is another chance for a bad karma moment here. Have you seen Chie? Yes, we definitely saw Chie earlier in the game, but we're gonna lie to her. And I'm gonna pick up some new shoes here.
There's your bad karma flower.
And if you're playing the game and you purchase a new pen or new shoes or new hair flower, you can always come into your notebook and switch between the old one and the new one.
Our artist Nakazawa-san made those colored shoes kind of like towards the end of the development, and I actually like the mint shoes best also. I think she also made the color name, so it was like mint and lemon and purple wisteria shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the game right here. Is just we call it the playground. We talked in the last dev stream about the original design of Sumire. She was younger, and a lot of the scenes were kind of I guess you'd say younger too. There was like the playground. We were gonna have butterfly catching. A lot of ideas we had, but as the story and the design developed, the game kind of matured as well, and the character Sumire is a bit older as well. Do we want to show some of the original? We have some of those videos here. Do we want to pull one of those up?
Yeah, if you want to pull the really early one,
yeah,
that was kind of interesting. That was like way at the beginning of the development cycle. Although you can see the elements that survived, which is always interesting.
We showed this in the last dev stream. This is one of our first prototypes back from 2019, actually. We had the game as a completely 2D game at first, which is if you're prototyping a game, kind of a smart way to do it. Just get the ideas, working really quickly in 2D, then eventually build the world out in 3D.
Even back then, we had that curved world, right to left running.
Yeah, in this version too, we were trying an idea of time moved as she moved right to left. In the current game, we have it's like an event system where there's clear moments where time moves forward. One of them is when she goes from the forest to town for the first time. The time moves forward about a couple hours. But yeah, in this version, it was just based on how far into the world she actually moved. But for many reasons, that didn't really work out. So yeah, let's jump back to the game here. So we got one thing we need now. So Kenji here is going to help us with the Dance of Distraction. we got another coin here. One of the easier ones. I can't help not picking up the coins in this game.
Do you want to show the text speed stuff?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think I might have it on the higher one right now. So, yeah, one of the options we added onto the game. I guess it's worth mentioning first of all too that we're playing the game in English, but we do have simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, French, Japanese, and yeah, we added a text speed to the game. So I'm at the fastest level right now. I'm actually gonna drop it down a little bit. With that, with the fastest option, the text doesn't print out as all. So now you see the text kind of typing out as the characters speak. But if you use that fastest option, then it'll just appear immediately. So if you're playing the game second, third, fourth time, then you can yeah, quickly go through those dialogues. All right, so we have everything we need now. So should we head back to the Wisteria tree?
Yeah.
All right.
Do a little fast travel.
And while we're doing this real quick, should mention again, I mean, a lot of people have been asking, is the game coming to Android? And that's part of our announcement today. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're working on an Android version. So, you know, we made all these kind of changes and design tweaks to get it to work on iOS. Works really well. So we're looking into an Android version now. Hopefully it'll go over smoothly.
Yeah, so...
It was actually really fun doing the mobile. So, you know, like Sumire always did really well on Switch. Like there's something about the game that just looks really nice on a small screen. It just kind of has this like beautiful, colorful kind of jewel tone to it. And so, you know, it did well on Switch. So it seems to have that same feeling on mobile. So we've been actually really happy with this this process of porting over to an Apple platform other than the Mac. Yeah, and so Android seems a natural next step. You just push the button, right, John? Just push the Unity button and Android
it's
version.
Not, unfortunately, like it's not that simple. Yeah, no, it's yeah, for the Android version, we do have the pre-registration open on the Google Play Store. You can pre-register, yeah. But we're looking. Yeah, there's some performance improvements we'll have to do first. It's something I'm working on now.
One of the interesting things that we didn't know we were going to have to tackle is even in iOS, there's all these different aspect ratios, different screen sizes. So some of them are a little bit longer, some of them are a little bit taller. And so we had to go in and actually like set up, you know, which size screen is being shown and how can we lay things out properly. There's Kenji doing his dance.
And into the Magic Garden. This is a part of the game that went through a lot of iteration. This was, you know, in the game we have what we call our mini scenes. We have the tiled world, which is, you know, the main world you see running left to right, and then we have these different mini scenes, which are more kind of forward back movement. And this Magic Garden was something that was in the very early versions of the game as well. Do you want to talk about what the Magic Garden originally was versus what it is now?
Yeah, I mean, the game in general is about, you know, Sumire's kind of stuck at home and like she doesn't, you know, her world is very small. And then on this particular day, she decides with the help of this flower that she's going to kind of expand out and kind of like, you know, see what the world is really like. And part of that is like going into these kind of like dream worlds and kind of her emotional states and how she feels about things. And this garden was originally modeled to be where she found the flower. So originally she left the house, like went through the rice fields, went over the river, and then actually found the flower there. And what happened was we felt like it was too long. She needed her kind of companion guiding her like much earlier than that. So we kind of changed that. But we still had this amazing garden that's the kind of this reflection of her fantasy world. So, it's still roughly actually in the same place because it was after you cross the river. So instead, it's now inside the wisteria tree. And it was just really fun to make. Like, we have all these strange creatures in there. And since she's having these kind of emotional issues with what we call the mean girls, the 3 girls that kind of bully her, she's kind of trapped them inside this like fantasy world, and now she gets to decide what she's going to do with them in her mind.
Right.
This One Eye, we call this guy One Eye. He's really fun. And then you can see baby One Eye next to him.
The Magic Garden was also originally where you would come to pick the flower as well. That was like in the really early versions. And then it became, the place where the girls were cursed.
Here we got the mini game. This was one that translated really well to touchscreen, because it's involving like tapping and changing the flow of these colors. So I think this was a really good one to put over on touchscreen platforms.
Yeah, on keyboard and controller, to move between these different flowers, it's hitting left and right, and since they're kind of arranged a bit organically, it wasn't very intuitive. So it is really nice to just just tap on these different flowers here. And we're doing a bad karma run, so I'm going to poison Yuko. I'm sorry. Again, if anyone's hopping in the chat, we're here to answer questions today, guys. So any questions you have, English or Japanese is fine. Please let us know, and we'll answer anything you have. Any questions you have about the game, about Game Tomo, about game dev, please let us know.
Each of the 3 mean girls had their own color. So Yuko's pink. This is Tomo. We actually, for most of the development, she was named Baddie, B-A-D, like bad Baddie. And eventually everyone was like, we have to change that name. You can't just call her that. So we changed her to Tomo, but she's blue, and then Chie is purple. So it also works really well with the color mixing theme of this game.
I think we actually started to do some localization when her name was still Baddie, and I think translator thought it was Buddy.
Yep.
Buddy, which it kind of works too because it's Chie's friend. They're the 3 of them. Yep. So we're gonna poison Tomo here. Oh, hello Uwu. Thank you for joining the chat. We have our first question here. What program did you use to animate the game? Was it Live 2D or Spine? We did use Spine. This game is built in Unity, and we use Spine to create our 2D animations. The integration for Spine in Unity is really useful and really easy to work with. So we're able to create new characters, all the forest creatures you see, even like the environment here. Some of these, the plants moving around. A lot of these are Spine animations as well. So thank you so much for your question.
I always like the Queen Rose. That's the Queen Rose that was just kind of, we were just brainstorming crazy things to put in the garden. And, this queen is kind of arrogant and tries to tell her to kind of basically keep everybody down. So it's a nice little last message before she goes into the final section.
I always found this a little, surprisingly creepy of just, this Rose Queen talking about, I used to, that she used to be an actual queen, and now she's a rose in a garden. It just, one of those things. This kind of the layers of I guess there's like light horror in Sumire, and this is one of those moments. I think this magic garden, which is kind of a little bit unsettling in a good way.
Oh, that was a fun thing too. Those reaching reaching claw vines.
Yeah, I think one of the only uses of inverse kinematics in our game is just it's actual IK, solving trying to move the hands as close as they can. Ooh says, the Queen Rose reminded me a lot of Alice in Wonderland. She's really pretty. Nice. Yeah, I think that was kind of a bit of inspiration for this garden, right? Like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, the funny thing about I was about to say that the very first time we made this garden, I don't know if you remember this, John, but like the first time we made it, like the flowers came up to Sumire's like waist.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually like everything was normal sized. And then it was like, no, shrink her, which is a really Alice in Wonderland thing to do. And then suddenly she's like inside the garden with just that one little change. Like everything is kind of towering over her, which looked really great even the first time we did it.
Yeah. I think the first version of like the 3D garden, like the one that we're in now, a lot of the flowers were like the scale was more realistic, and we went back and said like make some of them bigger, if I'm remembering correctly.
He is kind of merged with the garden here. That was Nakazawa-san, the artist, did a really good job with that. Kind of like her dress like becomes flowers and then flows into the terrain.
Yeah.
And then here we go with the final.
That's I guess a shout out to Oda-san as well, our illustrator for the characters' environments in the game.
It was funny finding all these reference photos too. Like, there's a surprisingly large amount of girls with flowers for eyes, like on the internet if you start poking around.
All right, so we're gonna poison Chie as well here. So to poison her, that's gray. There we go. Got black and white mixed together there. And yeah, if you're just joining us, again, we're doing a bad karma run today. We're making all the bad choices. We recommend playing the game through, with a good karma run. Do you want to talk about that question? Because there's another question we had from Phoebe about the branching choices.
Yeah, sure. Put it up there.
Let me pull that one up real quick. So again, this is from Phoebe Chanchibi, who's she's been a big supporter of the game and was also helped us get some beta testers for this iOS version. But she had the question: a lot of games with branching choices have several endings, and one that is considered a true ending. Would you say that Sumire has a true ending too?
Personally, I would say it doesn't have a true ending. Like, there's actually 3 different ways that the game can end. The bad karma ending is the most dramatic, which I don't think we're going to show. We're not going to go that far. But like, if you keep building the bad karma, like the very ending of the game like changes a lot. And then there's kind of like a middle version and then like a really good version. But a lot of this game is kind of intersecting with real life and like kind of what would you do in certain situations. So, to me, this character could have any of those endings when she gets back to her house.
Right.
So unlike, maybe a lot of other games would do, like, I don't think there's actually like, this is the kind of canon or like the one true ending of this game.
Right. I hope it's okay for me to say this, but the very original version of the story was, Sumire was going to die at the end. It was, it was one day, one life. She had the flower, and it ended up being the last day for both her and the flower. And with the bad karma ending now, we don't explicitly state it, but that is what happens in the bad karma ending now, which is closer to that old version. In the good karma ending, she does see her mom and possibly her dad in the ending. Wasn't too much there, was it?
Yeah, no. Love these panels. I'm waiting to see if we get
another question from Uwu. Was there anything in particular that inspired the story of the game? Yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, I mean, it was a story about, like what I think this is a thing that a lot of people think of at points in their life of like what would be one great day for you. Like if you could just kind of, if you had one great day, which also a little bit implies one last day, just kind of what would you do? How would you handle it? Who would you call? What would you resolve?
Yeah.
And then, so the original story was kind of based on this idea of a girl basically trying to do that, and with this flower that also only had one day to kind of guide her through it. The if you save the girls, they would be in this scene. I don't know how many people have actually played the game that are watching this or will be watching this later, but if you save the girls, like this is actually the one time you would see all of the young characters in the game together. And it's kind of a cool moment because they're kind of talking back and forth. But John had to very carefully set this scene up because, again, we have all these aspect ratios, and then there's like multiple numbers of characters that can be in the scene.
Yeah, and when the conversation ends, they all walk off, leaving Sumire here. And that was one thing we had to adjust for the. Surprisingly, the camera system on the widescreen. So if you're playing the game on like iPhone 10, iPhone 12, you're playing on a wider screen than what we originally designed the game for. And a lot of moments actually worked really well, but some of them were, characters walking off screen on the widescreen, you would see them disappear too early. So we had to adjust the timing for moments like that. We're about to unlock a memory here. So this is one of the big new things in the iOS version. It's only in the iOS version right now. So we have this share the moment up here. And so yeah, this is a new image that we just unlocked, and this is an image that we can save. We can share on Twitter, Instagram, wherever we like. And I can look back over, these are the ones that we got from earlier. And just a little tip if you're playing the game and you're trying to collect all of these. So right here, we ended up poisoning Chie and losing her. So this one right here would be if you did save Chie. And then, later we'll have the Kenji kiss scene, and a few of these there's actually like 4 possible endings of the Kenji scene. So, for anyone who's a completionist like me and you want to collect all of them, just a little tip for you right there.
Some of those have new art from Otis-san too. They're really pretty. Some of them are based on the panel that we did, but some of them are new. They look really nice.
We haven't talked about this at all, but do you think we'll ever add more of these? If we do an update, do you think Otis-san can make more of these?
Yeah, I think I think if people start sharing them around and we find some new moments, we love giving Otis-san things to do because she always comes back with this absolutely incredible
It's inspiring.
art.
Yeah, it's inspiring. So many parts of the game. If we come to one later, I'll bring it up. But again, Otis-san, she did all the illustrations for the game. She would send us new scenes sometimes, new characters, like the rice field. She would draw a little insect in the rice field, and it's something that we didn't ask for. It's something she just included to add some character to the world, and then we ended up adding dialogues for those little creatures. We have another question in the chat from, is it Mimiri? I think my favorite part of the game was that I could really identify with Sumire when taking decisions, which made it hard to get good karma a few times. Oh, really? Wow. I don't think I've heard someone that's had that experience, but that makes sense. That if you really connect with her, that sometimes the choices, it might not be hard to do a perfect good karma run or a bad karma run. I guess each situation you'll want to pick, what you actually relate to. Yeah, thanks for sharing. All right. So now we're gonna try to get as far ahead in the game as we can here. So I'm gonna jump ahead to the Tanaka house, and we're gonna start to look for Kenji's base here. Oh, an update would be so much fun. Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have one soon. We're kind of seeing how well this launch does right now, and some of the things that we'll probably be looking at in a future update would be kind of improving tutorial. As we're working on the Android version as well, we're making performance improvements. So we hope to improve performance in the iOS version as well, and possibly more options as well. I think on smaller phones, right now we just have an option for the text speed, but for dialogue in the game, the text can be kind of small sometimes. So we might also look at adding options for larger text size. All right, and real quick, do you want to try running another giveaway? We have a couple people in chat right now, so we want to give someone in chat a copy of Sumire that you can play on your iPad or your iPhone. And so, again, we're going to do the same one we did last time. The first person in chat who posts a flower emoji, we will send you a copy of Sumire for iOS. First person to post a flower emoji, any flower emoji works. First person, we'll send you a copy of the game.
Every time I see this Tanaka house, it just reminds me how fun it was to make. Nakazawa-san, who's actually like helping us with the chat too. She's our artist, Game Tomo lead artist, and she would sketch these things, and then we could sit there and like just pick over the details, and then she would change things, and then we'd end up with these like really incredible pieces like built on the curved world, and then we kind of send them over to Oda-san, and she would kind of polish them up, and it was just really fun to see the whole world come to life. And then here comes the rain. Nice.
Oh, Mimudi Mariella, that's our first flower emoji there. All right, we have our first giveaway winner. All right, we'll post some instructions for you in the chat. But yeah, that's we'll be sending you a copy of Sumire. Thank you. Congratulations.
I'm really glad we got this different weather mode into the game.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that didn't work right away. I wasn't able to just push that button, the make iOS version button for the rain here, and
make it beautiful.
Yeah, had to
checkbox.
Had to change some transparency settings for that shader. So I was happy to get the rain working as well.
It's a funny game because the scope of it is small. It's one day, and it's basically only a very limited geographic region that she can explore, but we needed to go through all these like feelings, so it was important to have different environments, different looking environments, the rain, the changing of the day, the sky, like all that kind of gives the feeling of movement in the game.
I mentioned before the coins and how some people are having trouble. I think right here is actually the hardest to find coin. I think just something about it being on the edge. I personally like that it's difficult, but if you're playing the game and you're trying to get that, let's show it real quick. We just hit a save point. Let me talk to the snake first, or I can pick it up and that'll trigger a save point. So we just saved. I'm gonna go back to the main menu for a second here. The iOS version is connected to Game Center, so we have these challenges. They're Game Center achievements. We have this one right here: cash in the bank, find all the scattered coins. We have there's some hidden ones here. So I have these ones were from going through the game already. These are some other hidden ones of things that are gonna happen in the story. We'll continue here.
Like John was saying, someone actually made online an achievement guide with all the achievements, how to do it, but they left out the list of coins. I'm sure they found it when they got the achievement, but they left it out of the list. Apparently, this one coin right here. So some people are a little frustrated. But if you're watching, there it is. There was the missing secret coin.
All right, I'm gonna talk to the snake right now. I'm not gonna finish his side task, but I'm just gonna use it to get some bad karma here. Again, we're doing a bad karma run, so We're gonna keep trying to get some bad karma here. Alright, so just checking Discord real quick here. Oh, I thought that there's a message. Okay.
You can see the button in the lower right corner, that kind of blue circle. That's obviously that's only on the touch screen version, but we actually did a few iterations of that. Just we really wanted it to blend in and not kind of interfere with the prettiness of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it works pretty well. That and the joystick section work
At
really
first,
well.
we just had it visible all the time too. But again, we just want, especially here when we're running around, this beautiful environment. We didn't want like really any distractions. We still have like the, our pause button and our notebook button here at the top, but trying to keep those as subtle as possible too. And so the bad karma opportunity for this snake side task is, he says he's lonely, he wants to find love, and there just so happens to be this cute hose that over here in front of the Tanaka house. But she isn't quite ready I think, for a relationship. So you have this choice to either take her right away or to come back later. And there's some more bad karma. Yeah, I think in this playthrough, there's no coming back from the bad karma, right? We're very low. Even if I chose right now to try to reconciliate everything, I don't think I could. We're also gonna... two possible side tasks here. This rabbit as well. I'm not gonna go...
Another one, John was... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, your point earlier about adding dialogue to some of the creatures, this was another perfect example of that. Like, we got this scene, and there's just those rabbit ears sticking out. There was no rabbit there. It was just these cute ears sticking out. So it's like, we got to do something with that. Yeah. And then we had the turtle already, which the turtle was put in there. And, everyone really liked the turtle. So you got a turtle and you got a rabbit. So it was a natural addition.
The tortoise and the hare. So yeah, here I'm just gonna agreeing to this this side task to help the rabbit cheat is instantly some bad karma there. But if you do end up helping the turtle instead, you end up with a more positive karma. I think like accepting is -1 in the score. You can't see your score anywhere, but then helping the turtle later is a positive too.
This might be a good chance to talk about the save system a little bit. We get this question a lot. I don't know if you want to show the slide.
I'll just switch here real quick. This was an older question we got on Twitter from this is someone who originally streamed the game on Twitch last year, Japanese language mentor. He's played through Sumire a lot. I think he streamed it like 7 or 8 times on Twitch, and he uses the game to actually help teach people Japanese, which that's been really cool to see a bunch of different streamers doing that. But he asked us about during our Sunflower update. He asked save files. It would be awesome to have multiple save slots.
Yeah, we wanted to. We actually debated this a lot. So it's not a technological thing. It's actually something that we actually talked about. Do we want to have save slots a lot? But one of the things about this game is you make your choices, and just like life, the choice is made, and then you kind of live with the consequences. And one thing you'll probably notice is John set up this save system that it just saves constantly, which is another thing we didn't have to do. Like, we could have saved at like 7 moments in the game, but instead we save like basically every 30 seconds or so at key events. So the idea of that is it's just on theme for the game. It's like you make your choice, and then you can't go back. And entering the clubhouse is one of those big moments, because if you don't go in, you'll never get to go in. Your chance is over. And we do we do appreciate that people want to kind of save and then try the different choices or have a second save slot for their little brother. So it was actually quite a big, debate for us. But we ended up kind of sticking with the way, just like life, you make your choice and you kind of go forward. Of course, if you're on Steam, you can kind of find the save file and kind of make a backup of it if you really want to, do that. But we decided in the game to kind of stick with our system.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually...
John, it wasn't easy, right? I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Well, I was going to say,
just
kind of on the technical side, like, the saving is a system that I actually added to the game, like, very early on. I'm glad that I did, because I think later on we didn't have as many issues because it was always there. And from the beginning, it was a persistent... You could leave the game at any moment, and it would save your position and everything. And then... it was maybe like 5 or 6 months before launching when we actually decided, like, let's have save points. Let's have, these key events, and instead of being able to close anytime. And yeah, like you said, that was a choice that was in line with the theme of the game, where it's one day, you have one shot to get everything right. And yeah, I think it ended up being a pretty clean system. Yeah, before, we're at just about 1 hour here. Before we kind of go into the secret base here, do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah.
All right. So we have something we want to show you guys. So, we're an indie game here. We're trying really hard to get more people to play Sumire, more people to enjoy the story. And one of the things that we did this year was we started a TikTok. We braved the waters of TikTok to try to spread the word a bit more. And yeah, we're gonna show you guys some of the videos that we made for TikTok. And if you can follow us there as well, we would love it. We may be posting more here soon about yeah, what's happening next with Samira. So we will be right back after these videos. In Sumire, there's a bunch of different mini-games you can play. After release, we saw that lots of people especially liked Bo's card game.
Reflect it back. Do that one. Yeah! Hey, what? What? Whoa! That combo! Whoa!
So we decided to add a whole new game mode that can be unlocked after finishing the main story. Every character has a different playstyle. Can you beat them all?
If you interact with that guitar, people who play the game, you
do it real quick.
depending on your karma score, you get a little notes played. So if you're doing bad stuff in the game, you get bad notes. And like the Toes guitar player couldn't play bad notes, so somebody else had to record the bad notes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Here we go outside. First look at the sky.
All right, and we are back, and we're gonna continue into the secret fort here. you saw in one of those videos there, we explained the card game, the Bo's card game tournament that you can play after you finish the game once, which is also set in the same scene here.
Yeah, that was something we added in the Sunflower update. So if you played the game when it first came out a long time ago, you might not have seen that, but now you can actually, after you finish the game, you can go play like 4 different characters in the card game, and like there's some extra dialogues and
different AI as well
that.
for each character.
That's right, yeah.
Slightly different play styles. You can play Yuko, Tomo, Chie, and Kenji. In the main story, you just play Bo in the card game.
Guess which one is most aggressive?
Here's just a short conversation with Bo. So we're doing a bad karma run. In a good karma run of the game, you know, when you hit this point, you're gonna have something that you'll give to Bo, and possibly check off something on your perfect A list. But here it's just a pretty short, unfriendly conversation. I think earlier we told him we don't want to play his game, we don't want to play his card game. It does not look interesting, so.
This was a fun environment to make. It's one of the mini scenes that John talked about where you're, instead of going sideways, you're going in. But this one, you know, was this clubhouse, so we had the roofs and the curtains, which John put physics on, which look incredible. It's a really interesting environment because there's a roof and all this kind of stuff that we had to do to it.
Yeah, especially with the rain, the sound of the rain falling, it just kind of creates a nice cozy vibe. Another comment from Mimi here. Oh, I played it when it released, so I had no idea. Oh, about the card game mode. Yeah, we added that in the Sunflower update. So the game, you know, released May last year. And we had the Sunflower update September last year, where we added French, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese, as well as the card game replay mode. And there's actually even a new Easter egg, which will be coming to a Steam update today. Later today, I have to post the Steam update. I was going to do it yesterday, but Steam update's today, Michael, by the way. And it's on the iOS version as well. You can actually now listen to some of the music in the game, in the card game scene. If you beat some of the characters, you can now listen to that music.
By the way, you can get the soundtrack now. We've sold the soundtrack on Steam since the beginning, but now you can actually get the soundtrack on kind of all the music platforms.
Do we have a link for that we can post in chat?
I can post it on Twitter later, but basically
Okay.
just, you know, if you look for TOW, T-O-W, they're the musicians who made the soundtrack, and Sumire, you should be able to find it on all the platforms.
Such an incredible experience
Creamy.
working with TOW for the music on this game. It was just really cool to work with them.
This is actually a really great example of that, because the feeling of this space, you know, we didn't have this space finished yet, but to be able to tell them, you know, it's that feeling when you're in the rain and the rain is hitting the roof, and, you know, something might happen, something romantic might happen, or something, you know, that you might be a little bit afraid of, and they just, you know, came out with this great music for this, and then, you know, we all kind of mixed it up together with the rain sound and everything.
Yeah.
They really were able to kind of get the emotions of the different scenes in the game.
Yeah, and a big part of that was, I don't think we've talked about it yet, but the dynamic audio. So a lot of the soundtracks a lot of the songs that TOW created for us, they have different layers, and you're about to hear one right now when we go from being in the scene right here with Kenji to the mini game starting right here. The same song playing that switches to a different layer.
This game was funny because, you know, it's the kind of thing where you say, hey, let's make an iOS version. You know, we're just moving around and tapping buttons on dialogues. That should be, you know, relatively easy. And then, wait a minute, what about the Kenji game? Like, suddenly you start thinking of all these situations where, you know, how are you going to move these pieces? Like,
Right.
Are you going to kind of drag them or tap or, And then all of this stuff just starts appearing, when you start to think about what you really have to do to port a game. It's really fun, but like you don't always know everything you're gonna get into at the beginning.
Yeah, this one when we started talking about it, I think we had really big plans to like we're gonna have dragging and dropping the pieces, and it shows where you can drop them, and it got a bit too crazy. So now it's just kind of a we ended up pulling the die out to like this float the die floating there. You just saw it like, and then we roll the die, and then it's just swiping to move the pieces here. But we want to show you more of the end of the game, so we're actually going to skip over this game here. This is an option in a lot of the mini games if you just want to focus on the story of Sumire. At any point you can skip over the mini games. We have another question from Uu. How did Sumire's design come to be? Was there a specific inspiration?
There was we actually did a lot of versions of Sumire. You actually saw when John did earlier the kind of girl with the flower, the really early version. She had a heart in her hair.
Yeah, I'll show you again real quick. I'll just switch over.
Yeah, that'd be great.
This was Sumire in February 2019. We talked a bit before too about how the original version was younger. She was what, 5 or 6. In the
original story she was like 5, and the reason for that was it wanted to feel like important that she could leave her house and kind of go out into the world. But then what we realized is it's actually really hard to connect to a character of that age. It's just too young. Like you can't put your feelings into a character like that.
Right.
So first she started like quite young, and then we made her older, and then we knew it was always with the flowers, so there was always going to be flowers involved. But we went through all kinds of like different dress colors, and then the backpack, and hair colors, and But it wasn't directly inspired by any kind of like, oh, we really like that certain anime character, let's kind of copy that. It was more based on the idea behind the story.
I guess we can, and maybe in general say there's some inspiration from Ghibli as well. I think like My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away. These are some really strong stories like set in Japan about a young girl. With similar experiences usually, just like kind of like coming of age, struggling with some big scary task in front of them, and I think there's a little bit of those Ghibli characters in Sumire as well.
Yeah.
Now let's go see Hayao Miyazaki over in the tea tile. We just unlocked another memory here.
Nice.
And again, this is one that's I think will be challenging for people to find. You're trying to collect all the memories in the game. This is a new feature that's just in the iOS version. Earlier we unlocked, when we lost Chie in the garden, and this is one here. If you don't end up getting the kiss with Kenji. Mimiri says her design is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're actually really happy with how she turned out. I mean, considering the number of versions we did, and there were a lot of good ones, like ones that would have been acceptable, but I think when we finally got to this one, it was like, okay, this is the character. Here's another one of those big moments where you can't go back. I think the very first time it was like you had maybe 1 chance or maybe even 0 chances to not get on the bus, and so anything you needed to resolve in town, you kind of couldn't go back after this point. So we needed to make it really clear, you're going away and like you can't come back. Like whatever you needed to do in town needs to be done. And this, of course, like John was saying, this is a real Ghibli influence moment too. There's the bus stop in Totoro, and then there's the bus ride is inspired by the train ride in Spirited Away.
Right. Just gonna go through this pretty quick here. Actually, while we're watching this cutscene here, let's try another giveaway. So earlier we had Mimiri win a copy of Sumire. Again, congratulations. So let's try another giveaway. Anyone in chat, this time, first person to post an animal emoji. Any animal emoji, you'll win a copy of Sumire. We'll gift you a copy through the App Store that you can play on your iPhone or your iPad.
Talk about this scene for a second. We like we were saying, this is one of those Ghibli inspired moments where you're on the Ghibli inspired moments where you're on the just a moment like you've done all this stuff and it's just a moment to stop and think. And we also had this really pretty music, and I just had this feeling of just wouldn't it be great if people just sat and like just listened to the entire song and just kind of like looked out the window just like you would do in a long car ride or a long bus ride. But of course we can't actually ask people to do that because it's not something that a normal gamer is going to want to do. But so we kind of put in the exit button after 20 seconds or whatever. But yeah, it was always a fantasy that maybe someone would sit and kind of listen to the entire song on the bus ride until the end.
Mimiri in chat saying this part actually made her cry, so if she's crying, then maybe she watched the whole thing. Yeah. All right. Foodine, you're the winner of our next giveaway. We post a crying cat emoji. You don't have an iPad.
Well done.
If you have an iPhone though, we'll still send you a copy. And then says I already have a copy of the game on Steam, so I'll let anyone else. You're too nice. You're too nice. Okay, but yeah, Foodine, you're a winner. So yeah, we'll post some instructions in the chat for you.
If you don't have any, sorry, if you don't have any iOS, we can send a different. Yeah, we'll send a.
Yeah, we'll send you whatever platform you want.
Yeah.
We can send you the Switch version or the Steam version. Yeah, we'll post on instructions in the chat though. This was one in the game where she thinks that her flower actually maybe possibly left her back there at the bus stop. That the dialogue I was going through pretty quickly. The flower is saying that you're going to be on your own, but then.
Yeah, one of the implications was that if the flower would go back, it might kind of live another day. But the fact that it's stuck with her means it's too far away from home now, and it's going to have to. It won't make it. It's going to die with her, like far from home, far from the wisteria tree. That's kind of one of the reading between the lines things. And you can see that it's now down to one petal.
Unlocked another memory here. Yeah, flower with one petal left there. The one red petal, the one bad karma red petal.
The original flower design only had one petal. It was supposed to be one petal one day, and then it just looked a little. No matter how many times we tried it, it just looked a little too alien. It looked a little too like one of them looked like a bug, and it was just never quite right. So we ended up remaking it with all of the petals, which looks really pretty. This particular breed of flower, I think it's called a Queen's Knight or something like that, actually only lives one night. And then that worked better in the end because the petals slowly disappeared as the day went on, so it actually worked out really well. But it's just like the character of Sumire, we just went through like iteration after iteration trying to get one that felt really right. Here's the T-Man. Hanging out at the lonely bus stop.
This was an animation that came into the game almost like right towards the end. Was her actually like sitting here drinking the tea.
I think this was one of the things where like all three of us at the same time had the idea of could get a tea and a sipping animation in there at the because originally she just sat there with the teacup.
Yeah.
But
something we always needed. I think we probably never would have actually, had this scene without it. But I think it did just kind of come together at the last minute. Ended up a bit of tweaking, like how long should you take, between each sip here, that timer in the code of like, okay, next sip. There was a bit of adjustment there, but Again, something that made the moment just feel right. All right. We're gonna...
She's getting the bad karma because she didn't help the T-Man. She was given something to do, a chance to do something earlier, and she decided not to help him. So that's what that red karma flower was. So like John's saying, we're doing the bad karma run just for fun. Spreading heartache and destruction everywhere.
Oh, Mimirdi says, I tried to get good karma so badly, mostly for the sake of the flower. I got too attached to it. That's good to hear. We kind of that's what we're kind of hoping for, you know. This flower, that people come to care about the flower, and they do, you know, want to show him a good day because they care about him.
And that would have been a great, like, the top ending would have been so great if like another seed was blooming when you got back home.
Oh,
so it's like you'll get another, like, that would have been a really,
yeah,
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
maybe that'll be in another patch or something. You get another flower to go with you too. This is this red bridge is also inspired by Spirited Away. And John, you want to talk about the your beloved fishing game?
Yeah. This is we here at Game Tomo, I think we all very strongly believe that no game is complete without a fishing mechanic. There's something about having fishing in a game. But this was something I think I was pushing for when we were deciding what would the mini games be. You know, we have some mini games that are like these pop-up games, and some that are overworld interactions. And this was, I think I threw most of it together in a day or two, and it didn't really change too much after that. We changed like what she can catch. There's like a set order of what you can catch. Mechanic here is actually, it's pretty similar to Fortnite fishing. You just look for that splash, and then you reel it in.
I think this was really important in a way too, because it's like after you take that bus ride, you're kind of in the last part of the game now, but there was no. It's really great to have this mini game to kind of give you one more kind of thing to do. So everything is not just kind of like throwing, character and story at you all the way to the end. It's just like a nice little refreshing break before you hit the end of the day.
Yeah, it's kind of this whole last section of the game, the sun setting, and just things are just winding down.
Whoops. A good karma, the only good karma flower.
Oh yeah.
But it's not enough.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. We're doing bad karma.
For what it's worth, you can get the bad karma ending without. You can still do a few good karma things and get the bad karma ending. It doesn't have to be everything bad across the board for what it's worth if people are gonna go try it.
And we're gonna sneak into the onsen here. That's our next bad karma moment. What if I just sneak in?
I have to say, as someone who's gone to kind of these countryside hot springs, sneaking in and not paying the owner is like, that's about the coldest thing you could do.
Yeah. Should be like negative 10 karma points.
Yeah, exactly. Sneaking into somebody's family-run hot spring. This is very much modeled on pictures of these like different hot springs.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone hasn't been, the baskets on the wall and the fan and all that kind of stuff, quite realistic. This is another place I love the music themes.
one thing that changed in its iOS version a bit too was these cutscene moments. Now all of our cutscenes are actually assembled using Unity timeline, and they're all letterboxed now. So yes, before some of them were still videos, but now everything's sort of done in the Unity engine, and yeah, that keeps them running faster, loading faster, looking nicer, and we're able to have that letterbox. So on the iPad screen, we can have the original resolution of the cutscenes looking nice, as well as on the widescreen iPhones as well. Oh no. Ooh says she's crying. Yeah, and that was so that's actually the last memory you can unlock. There was the Onsen memory there. All right, should we keep going to the end here? We're pretty close.
I think we can go to the. I don't think we want to show the ending.
Okay.
Maybe up to the Firefly Hill.
All right. Actually, question for you, Mike. I don't know. Have you noticed? Do you remember how that dialogue right here, how the camera used to pull back and like look at the stairs? I actually, that's one thing I'd been planning to take out for a while. I don't know if you noticed that camera movement's gone now. Because we originally put that in when she was thinking about, we had this whole side story about she's thinking about getting a ticket to go see her dad in Tokyo.
Yep.
And she was considering going to the train station, which is also by the park over here. And for the longest time, I think it's actually still in the Steam version right now, when she goes to this dialogue by the stairs here, the camera would pull out as she's thinking of, oh, should we go to the train station? And yeah, that's something that it's no longer in the latest version. Our final confrontation with the Crow Queen here.
You originally met Grandma on this bench. This is like the golden bench.
Oh yeah, that was another big change towards the end as well.
Yeah. Works a lot better now, but because you have to go up the hill. The hill is really interesting too, which we're about to get to, because you've been on this kind of curved world, gently curving up, and then when you hit this hill, it actually changes and you're going up the hill, which kind of prepares you for the ending. But it was another like, what did you have to do, John? Like there was camera challenges, and we had to like turn the camera in the right way and do all this stuff just to get her to be able to go up that hill.
Yeah. Let me run over to it after this. It's yeah. So like we have actually. Yeah, I'll show that GIF as well. I have of the tiled world in a second here. Let's grab the flower.
She has to carry the flower.
So real quick, I'll show. This was something we showed in the last dev stream as well. Just kind of a bit of a behind the scenes here of how this world, this curved world works. This is like if you zoom out the camera all the way, like during gameplay this is the beginning of from the house to the shrine. If you were to see how the world is actually laid out, Samira, she's actually like moving, in 3D space, and right here she's like technically upside down in the world, but because the camera follows her as she's going around these tiles, everything stays aligned. But then this part of the game, we wanted it to feel like she was going uphill, because it's a distinct memory of, this place in the park where she visited before with her grandma. So yeah, right here we have a different shaped tile, and then a whole system for how the camera is actually gonna rotate a little bit to kind of give that illusion and keep all the tiles connected. So that was something that was fun to work on and get working just right.
And by the way, you can see here, because we're in bad karma mode, those are usually fireflies, but in this case they're these ghost spirit things.
Yeah, this is something you'll only see if you do a true bad karma run. Yeah, I think we'll just get to the top of the hill here and start to wrap things up. If you guys have any final questions about the game, yeah, please let us know. Ooh, it says it works so well. Oh, and Mimir also said, I like the use of spider lilies in this scene. I think she was talking about, like, at the bottom of the hill in the park. I guess those are those flowers we have all around there. That'd be interesting to actually sit down and figure out what are all the flowers we show. Like, because in all the environments, the actual flower that the flower character is based on. Yeah, we need kind of a catalog of what are all the flowers in Sumire. All right, so yeah, do we have any final questions or anything we wanted to talk about?
We can tell you, if you want to try a bad karma run, from now on is going to look quite different from what you're used to in the game, but we don't want to spoil it. But it's worth checking out if you want to give the game another run through and try all bad karma.
Yeah.
Grandma is not what she seems.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap things up here. We don't want to show you guys the ending, but yeah, just a final reminder: Sumire, it is now live on the App Store. You can find it on the Mac App Store and the iOS App Store for $5.99 now. We're also getting the Android version ready on the Google Play Store. You can now pre-register. We don't have an official release date yet, but we're hoping to have it ready very soon here. Yeah, congratulations again to Mimiri, and it was scroll up in the chat here, Fooding for the giveaway winners here. Yeah, we'll be in contact with you guys. Again, please email us at hello@gametomo.co.jp, and we'll get you your copy of Sumire. And yeah, please follow us on Twitter. We'd love to stay in touch with you guys. All right. Any final words, Michael?
Somebody asked a question if we're going to do another game like Sumire, and we have considered that.
That's a good question.
We're kind of we've really enjoyed doing the ports. We're really happy with how the game turned out, so we have talked about doing something like not exactly the same, but something maybe similar feeling. So keep an eye out. We'll let you know whenever we get going on something like that.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. This was fun to do. Yeah, let us know too if you want to see more streams like this, see more behind the scenes. We'd love to do it again.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting some good questions here.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, we will stay here and answer questions. If you keep asking questions, we'll stay here and answer them.
I think this is a really good one. I wanted to ask, what was the most difficult thing about developing? Is it the game or a game? Oh, the game would be this game. Yeah, John, you can talk about the technical side. And
yeah, I guess specifically for the iOS version, yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges was just it's a pretty technical thing, but just there's pretty strict memory limits of how much memory, like while the game is running, how much can be saved in memory. And there's some moment, especially we're about to come up to the ending cutscene right here, which is it's a moment in the game where you kind of travel back through the world a bit. I don't want to spoil too much, but you see the whole world again, kind of going all the way back to her house. And it's we had to make a lot of optimizations to make sure that moment in the game didn't crash when you started playing on the iPhone, and I think we did it. We haven't had any crash reports in a while from the beta testers, and hopefully no new ones come in from the live version here.
And then from the design side, I think, mainly it seems like a really simple game. It's relatively short. The world is relatively small. But, to make all those pieces fit together into like one big unified emotional experience is, it's pretty challenging. You have to kind of do things over and over and over again. The thing that John was talking about earlier, for example, the way the music mixes, even something like that, we just worked so long on it. And then when you finally get it right, people barely notice it because it's so smooth. And so like a lot of a game like this, because it's story based, it's emotional based, it's just tweaking all these little tiny things all through the game and the story to kind of lead to this big payoff. So it's basically, the more work you do, the more smooth it seems to and easy it seems to the final player.
Another question, was there something more planned about Sumire's dad before the idea of her going to Tokyo got scrapped?
He was not going to, so for a while, we had this idea that, we needed to get her out of the house. And the dad was not in the house. So it was always from the beginning that the dad had left and gone to Tokyo. And you weren't really going to see him. But we had this idea of like, okay, we need to get her out and kind of like heading for a goal. So in the early part, one of the things was like, okay, there's this bus ticket and you were going to go see him. And then you're kind of referring, so she's talking about him and thinking about him. And then we kind of changed that. And then it became about calling him or talking to him. And then you kind of see him. I don't know if people can hear, but my doorbell's ringing. I have a package delivery.
It's not too loud, don't worry.
Okay. But yeah, he was never going to be in the game, but then we put more of her connection to him in the game. And then when we actually designed the character originally for the memory scene, we really liked him, the way he looked. So he kind of like, you see him in the Tanaka maze and Shadow and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I hope that answers the question. I got a little distracted because my doorbell's ringing over and over again.
Yeah, we had feedback towards the end, actually, from Nintendo when we started working with them to get the Switch version ready. That just was a suggestion to have more dad moments, more references, and I'm just gonna add that in the notebook, we have we didn't do it in this run through right here, but on the perfect day list of tell mom and dad my feelings. This was originally just tell mom my feelings. Mm-hmm. This task on the perfect day list was to resolve things with her mom. So that was one small change we made, was to include dad in there as well, which is also a little bit difficult too. It's managing to find a way to call him some way in the game, so it made that task a little bit difficult as well. And there's also a few moments where you can kind of see dad. If you found him in the Tanaka maze, that's one place, and there's a possible ending where you see your dad again as well. Amiri said, I finished the game in one sitting because I was just so emotionally invested. I loved all the small details that helped me feel like I could understand Sumiri's thought process. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's really kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Uu said, honestly, I feel those small details that make Sumire feel more human. Nice. Thank you guys so much.
Yep, thank you.
All right, yeah. I do think we are going to wrap it there. Thank you guys again so much for your questions. The last dev stream we did, the chat was pretty dead, so it really means a lot to us that you guys were asking questions today and interacting. That we really appreciate it. And yeah, for those of you...
This will stay up on... this will stay up on YouTube, so
yeah,
if you want to go share it around or watch it later. The last one we ended up with, a few hundred people watched it over time.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks again for everything. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, see you next time.